I'm Mike Martis, Director of Marketing at Finch.
And I'm Nevin Zavell, e-commerce product specialist at Finch. And Mike, want to introduce George from Flocksy. So George, welcome to the pod.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is great.
What are the trends that you're seeing right now in the creative space? What is working? What's not working?
We've continued to notice a big uptick in short form video. People are leaning heavily into Instagram Reels. They're leaning into TikTok. We're doing it ourselves with our marketing. And there's a heavy emphasis on constant content in bite-sized chunks. And stuff that's more organic and comes across and is more honest than your conventional, like Mad Men style advertising campaigns. It's still engaging, it's fun, and you end up watching it half the time just because it feels organic. And I've noticed a big push in that direction. Something we've been doing with our companies, we just contacted a bunch of our clients and said, hey, would you just jump into an interview with us and tell us what your experience is? And taking people's real experience, taking the real work that they got done and putting it out there in bite-sized chunks, and seeing all the different ways in which it has improved their lives, improved their workflow. It really resonates with people, and it feels a lot more authentic than just having an ad thrown up in your face with us saying this is why you should use our service.
It makes sense how we got here, right? Social media has pushed this medium on people. They're very used to seeing it, and whenever you can, it's so obvious when you're scrolling whatever your short form video content you're ingesting. It's so eye-poppingly obvious when an ad comes up, right? There's such an obvious difference between a normal short form video of somebody showing you something goofy their dog did or whatever the latest trend is versus, oh, this is an ad, and they scroll by it immediately. We have this philosophy at Finch about get something done. You know, we say it a little bit different than that.
Just do it.
Yeah. So you have an idea, do it, right? And if it's not perfect, that's fine. We'll use it in its first form, and then we'll clean it up down the road if it shows some legs, right? The interesting thing is nowadays, you're actually seeing that original just get it done form of the content. A lot of times outperforms, especially on certain channels, social channels in particular, because it feels organic. This stuff resonates a lot more. If you're not so focused on conversion all the time and you're focused more on getting your personality, your brand personality, which means your actual people and your actual customers in front of everyone.
It feels a lot more genuine in the fact that you're actually adding something into the space. You're adding something onto the internet that is providing value for the end user. Community is so important. Having a community of people who identify with your brand is massive. If you ever go on to like the subreddit of like a company or like a brand in particular, my favorite is just the absolute psychos on the Delta subreddit. If you ever go on to like a car brand's subreddit, like a Volvo, it is a community of people who are die-hard evangelists of your brand. And the more that you create that, and the more that you empower your users, your customers to share their experiences with the product, you are creating that sense of community. You're creating that die-hard community of evangelists who are working to build brand awareness, because to them it is a core part of their identity. Is like, I'm a Volvo driver, which you would never think would actually be something that people would be like bragging about, but no, it's an entire community. And I think that's why, and I think that short form video in particular has, and a lot of this very kind of consistent content has really created spaces for those communities and that kind of content to grow.
If you can get people that like your company and like your brand, and if your advertising can entertain people and make them feel that the time they spent being sold to, or even just having you talk about what you do, wasn't a waste of their time, I think that there's a whole different level of connection that comes there. I mean, one of my favorite examples recently has been Wendy's, but it comes across like some 17-year-old intern took over their social media accounts. That makes me laugh. I watch that. That's funny. I don't mind being advertised at with that. I think that's great. Another company I really like is Saddleback Leather. They're a company that makes like leather bags. They have rabid fans. People just go nuts when they launch new products. They don't mind price increases. They get excited about buying from this company. And I think it's because they've taken care of their customers. They focused heavily on listening to feedback, and they have adapted the products over the years to what people actually want to buy and people feel listened to and heard.